talk should be from Joe Nicholas, but he will not able to come, so I'm just switching the talk. And other thing is like Magento U is raffling the 2 certification voucher. So make sure you drop your business cards so that at 11 a.m. they are announcing the 2 free certification vouchers. So put your business card over there. So this talk I have given like 2 weeks back in Singapore. So this is the same talk I'm giving here because on a short notice. So I'm just repeating the same talk here. This is about Magento 2 migration best practices. What are the things you should take care when you have to do the Magento 2 migration from M1 to M2 or any third party to M2. So let's start with the myself, Vijay Golani, and I'm a Magento master working at Magento, as well as I'm a Magento U trainer also. So I provide training on behalf of Magento U all over the world. So this is the agenda. Like we will discuss about the type of migration and why is the Magento migration required, and key components for your migration, as well as best practice analysis and migration steps, and then after we will do the QA. So there type of migration we have is Magento to Magento 2 or other platform e-commerce tool to Magento 2. So these are the 2 kind of migration right now we can have. So in this talk we are going to discuss about Magento 1 to Magento 2 migration. So in a Magento 2 to Magento migration, what are the reason we should spend the time and money for the migration? So let's say for the M1 user, the Magento 1 end of life is June 2020, and there are many Magento 2 features which are not available in Magento 1. So that can be one reason you should migrate from Magento 1 to Magento 2. And the second reason is for the other platform is maybe not providing a complete commerce package which you can find in a Magento 2. So this can be another reason. And these are some standard features available in Magento 2, like Magento B2B, order management, shipping, social, and business intelligence. So these are the other tools available. Those you can take an advantage when you use the Magento 2. So there are key components that we need to take care during the migration, and the first one is a data migration. So data architecture is completely changed as compared to the Magento 1 and Magento 2. So you have to you have to use the data migration tool to do this thing, and this tool is focusing on, clicker is not working, yeah. Data migration focusing on, these are the customers, orders, products, promotions. These are the standard data. For that it is available, and you can easily transfer the data from Magento 1 to Magento 2. And data migration tool is available by Magento that you can find from the dev docs. Using that tool, you can easily transfer the data from Magento 1 to Magento 2. You just need to, I will explain in a later slides that how you can use this tool and how you can transfer data from M1 to M2. And the slide tip is, make sure when you use the data migration, turn off your cron jobs, because if cron job is working on Magento 1, then there may be chances that data is still updating in your M1 store. So you need to make sure that it should not run cron jobs on a Magento 1. Then after data migration, we should discuss about the theme migration. Which are the things you should take care during the theme migration? So theme has completely changed as compared to Magento 1. So in a Magento 2, you have the different layout, different files, and different structure as compared to Magento 1. So extensive layout level changes for better performance. You have the PW things and other things. Then second thing is, you cannot directly migrate theme from M1 to M2. So you require to completely rebuild your theme. So that's the one thing you should take care. And maybe this is a correct time where you can change your layout or you can change your branding also when you migrate from M1 to M2. Then after third thing is we build a theme based on the responsive. So now in a Magento 2, whatever theme you are building, it's directly compatible with the responsive thing because Magento has a default package available with the responsive also. So it is easy for you guys. Like it will work for in a mobile or in a smaller device or a bigger device, it will work easily. So these are the theme migration things. And the fourth one is you require to now build and deploy the themes. So Magento has added the command line tools so that you can build a static content and everything in advance. So this can save time during the migration, like when you run the site on the production server. Clicker is really not working, yeah. The slide tip is in a Magento 2 now PW Studio is available, so you can build your theme using a PW Studio also. So that is an extra advantage you can have in a theme migration. Then after extension migration, after doing a theme migration, we need to talk about the extension migration, which are the things you can take care during the extension migration. So your old extension is not going to work directly, so you require to rewrite their code, and there are some tools also available, code migration tool that can help to like a basic structure rewrite, but other things also required to do. So that thing you need to take care. Then the majority of the extension provider have the new version available. So if you are using a Magento 1 version, and now majority of extension is available on a marketplace where you can use for your Magento 2 store. Now new technology partners also available, and like they have the special features. Those are not a part of extension, but like something extra things. Those are available through the technology partners. So those are the new things now in a Magento 2 to make it more like a commerce package. Then if you cannot find it, then someone can build an extension also. So whatever extension or a feature you have in a Magento 1, you are not able to find the same extension in Magento 2, then we, SI can custom build those extensions also. And the extension are cost effective, so if it is a budget constraint, then you can find an extension on the marketplace, and those are the cost effective. So one of the good source to find a Magento extension is a marketplace.magento.com, because they have validated extension through the different steps like a marketing review, technical review. So preferred way is to always go to the marketplace and get an extension, so you have they can make sure that it will not break your code or something. Then after fourth thing we can discuss about is the customizations. So we discuss about the data and theme, and now we extension, and now the customization. What are the customizations you have in Magento 1? How those are we need to take care during the Magento 2. So your old extension needs to be rewritten. So like you need to rewrite your old custom development which you have done in your Magento 1, that needs to be rewrite to the Magento 2, because those are not directly going to work. Then second thing, you will have to migrate or rewrite your all custom code, and for that you have the code migration tool. So using Magento is providing one code migration tool also. Using that you can rewrite all your custom modules, but you have to make sure that those are going to work. Like for the some files still you require to you need to test it and apply some other logic also inside the, like when module converted to the Magento 2, and then after it can work for your Magento 2 store. Yeah. Now the next thing is migration analysis. Like we have discussed about that, what are the things we need to take care. Now what are the analysis we should do before we do the actual migration. So this migration analysis will help us to save a time, like instead of falling a problem during the actual migration, we can do a better analysis. We can divide into a correct way so that it can be easily helpful during the actual migration process. So first is extension analysis, like how we can do the extension analysis. So take a time to analyze what you need before you start actual migration. List out all the install extension from your Magento 1 store, and then divide this extension into the different group like enable extension, disable extension, enable but not in a use extension, because like those are the some extensions you might be want to get rid of from your store because those you are not using it. Then after once you have all the enable extension list, you can divide those into again a one group of category that is must needed, good to have, can be installed in the future, and not needed. So this category will help you to decide based on your time and budget and everything. This can help you that which are the extension like must needed and good to have. You can go with that first, and then after if you have time availability, then you can go with the can be installed in the future and not needed. Then after then you can clean up the things, like you can make a final list of the extensions which you really need in a Magento 2 store from the Magento 1. So you can clean up all the unnecessary extension, maybe expired extension or a non-priority. And once you have the final list, you can find the extension on a marketplace, that which are the extension now available on the marketplace. And if not available, then you can find an alternative, or if you want some extra features, then you can find an alternative extension. And if extension is not available as an alternative also, then you can mark those as a custom build, and then you can ask your SI so they can custom build your extension. Slight tip is make sure that when you are choosing an extension from the marketplace, then those extensions can be conflict with each other. So like for one single page, make sure you do not have the multiple 4 or 5 extensions, because if both are using the same file, then it can be a conflict. So this thing you need to take care. Then after the second analysis is a custom development analysis. So in a custom development analysis, it is a similar flow which we had for the extension analysis. First of all, list out all the features you have built in a Magento 1 and make a one list. Then again, you categorize it enabled, disabled, and enabled but not in use category. And then after, you can group the modules, like what are the extensions you want to rebuild as it is, and what are the new modules which you want to add extra features. So those are the things you can do here. Like this is a correct time where if you find that you are lacking some of the features in your Magento 1, in some of your custom feature, then you can have the perfect time right now. So you can add some add-on thing into your things. Slight tip is a write a requirement for each module again, because like what happened, like if you just give the complete M1 store and ask someone to build in M2 and they do not know exactly your custom requirement, then it can be again a big problem. So make sure that you write all the custom modules requirement again in a story or whatever tool you are using, so that they can understand it and they can make as per your requirement. Then after, the third one is a core code hack analysis. Like in Magento 1, maybe someone has edited your custom core Magento's core modules. So this is a perfect time where you can do a core code hack analysis also. It's not recommended to edit a core, but maybe somehow they have edited it. So compare your, like whatever Magento 1 version you are using, compare with the Magento's vanilla code with that, and find out that which are the files changed by your previous developer in your M1 store. And check and identify all the modified code, and check if this requirement is already covered in a Magento 2 or not, because there may be a chances that whatever custom code edit is done in your M1 store can be like by default available in a Magento 2 as a feature. So this is a perfect time you can check those things, and then after you can decide that which are the core things like edited by your previous developer is needed in a Magento 2. If yes, then you require to convert into the custom features those things, because in Magento 2 it's not recommended to edit any core code. Slight tip is if your certified dev is never going to modify your core code, and insist always a composite deployment. So in that case, they will not able to edit any Magento's core files. Then after fourth one is infrastructure analysis. This is also like a not programming, but again an important part of the migration. Like you need to make sure that all the server requirement which Magento 2 required is already there or not. Because if you do not do this analysis and directly start migrating, then there may be a chances that some of the PHP extensions or a PHP version or something may be not compatible. So you can check this thing. So make your infrastructure compatible to Magento. So you can have like a Magento has dropped the support for 5.5 and 6 and 7. 6.x is a joke. It is not like 6. PHP 6 is not available. And then a supported PHP version right now in Magento is a 7.1.3 and 7.2.0. So these are the two supported version right now with the latest version. So make sure that your new server stack is compatible with this infrastructure. They have Redis, Elastic, and RabbitMQ also for the caching, search, and asynchronous messaging queue. So make sure that whatever the version, all these things available on the devdocs.magento.com also, so you can find what are the compatible version that you can use for this server requirement. Then after another thing, you have to make sure that look for the deprecated items based on the Magento version. Like you can see that in a 2.3.0, like Magento has deprecated catalog search and they have replaced with the Elastic search. So when you migrate that, then you have to list out the things which Magento has deprecated, so that you have to, like, you can configure your server in a way that it should work. Otherwise, it can be like it can consume your 100% server and maybe your server can down. A slight tip for this is like a Magento Commerce version have the 3 master databases. So like if you are going with the Magento Commerce or a cloud, then you can go with the multiple master databases based on your custom requirement. Then after now, let's discuss about the actual migration steps. So in a migration steps, Magento is providing one data migration tool and it has a different mode. So Magento migration tool works with 3 different modes: setting mode, data mode, and delta mode. In a setting mode, Magento will migrate all your system configurations and website related settings. Then after, in a data mode, Magento will migrate all your Magento standard entity tables as well as some custom table if you have. Then those are going to be migrated. I have written the command also. You can see that you can use that command. And in a delta mode, migrate all the incremental changes. So for example, if you are doing right now M1 to M2 migration in the local system or on a stage server, then you have used the M1 database. And now if you are doing the next time after 1 week, again you are doing the migration. So from the the only 1 week data Magento will do using a delta mode, so it do not has to transfer again all the data from M1 to M2. So that's the advantage of the delta mode. Now we have the different migration steps that we are going to discuss, like how exactly, like when you are on, now you have done the migration analysis, you have done the infrastructure analysis. Now everything is ready and you want to start the migration, then what are the steps? So first step is to take a live DB clone, because like we want to have a backup of the Magento 1's live DB. So take a DB clone. Then after, make sure that empty all the log tables, because we do not need all the log information from M1 to M2. That's fine, because those are some extra things. Then after, set your Magento 2 store. So you have already set up Magento 1 store, again set up a Magento 2 store. Then after, stop all the admin activity in a Magento 1, because now we have to start all the migration steps, data and other thing. So do not do any activity in a Magento 1 store. Stop Magento 1 and Magento 2 cron jobs, because cron job is also in the background. They are updating the database fields, so you can stop all the cron job. And then install the data migration tool that is available online, so you can find that tool. You can install this tool, and this data migration tool will help you to do the setting migration, data migration, and delta migration, which we have discussed in the previous slide. Once you have done with the data migration, go with the code-based migration. In a code base, make sure that whatever the new theme you have built, install that theme into your Magento 2 store. Then after any third-party extensions which you have finalized, that you can install, and any custom modules built in a Magento 2 that you can install. So this is a code-based migration steps. Oh, sorry. After that code migration is done, like data and code migration is done, you can copy all the media, SCL, and admin features, because those are the things cannot be transferred by the data migration or code migration. These are the things you require to transfer manually. So make sure you copy media, SCL, and admin accounts. Then after, put your M1 store in a maintenance mode, because now it is a time where you are converting your M1 store into the M2 store, and put your Magento 2 store in a production mode now, because in a production mode it has a more performance and other things. So make sure that your live site always should be in a production mode. Once you put in a production mode, you can start all the Magento 2 cron jobs, so that it can have all the admin background activities can work perfectly, and flush the Magento 2 cache and reindex Magento 2 so you can have the correct data. And the last thing is change the DNS, load balancer, everything for like when you are now redirecting customer from M1 site to the M2 site, so you have to change all these things. And then after point to the Magento 2 store using a DNS and everything. So these are the standard migration steps that you can follow when you are doing a M1 to M2 migration. These are some useful links available. So like a Magento migration guide is available on the dev.magento.com. Data migration tool is available. Some code migration tool is available. One is by Magento itself, and one is by another like a third party available. So you can use those tools also to migrate the store from M1 to M2, like code related things. And some free useful videos is also available on the Magento U website, so you can go, check to those videos that how actual Magento migration is done. So you can find all the learning resources, like they have 2 or 3 minute video, like multiple videos, and they will explain about the different modes and everything. All right, that's it. Any question? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, backend activity. Uh, like for like when you are just preparing for the data migration, yes, but when you are doing an actual data migration, I would say no. Like you can put your M1 store in a maintenance mode for like a few minutes, because like during the data migration it is going to transfer the orders also. Or what you can do, if you still want to take orders, you can do a delta migration again, like so that the new orders, whatever the new orders place, that you can again fetch during the delta migration. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, does the migration expire like user passwords, because or those preserved? Like, will I have to tell my customers like you need to update your password?
No, because like there is a one key available that if you remember in Magento 1, like when you install the Magento, they are storing one key. If you use the same key, put it again in a Magento 2, because all the password mechanism is using a passphrase. Yeah. So you do not need to ask any customer to reset any password. It will work directly. Make sure the key should be same in M1 and M2. Yeah. Is there any other question? All right, thank you.